Alright, Shalom, Shalom. I'm gonna go praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. Double to the elders and apostles of GMS, all the brothers doing the work, the 144,000 hopeful elect. And tonight, I'm gonna be doing a video on Katt Williams. In the minute lies he telling this interview. And like I said, this is part 2. I did part 1 yesterday. So we're gonna continue with the lies of Katt Williams. But first, we're gonna read this real quick. We're gonna go here, and we know that Katt Williams is a liar from part 1. All right, let's go to John 8 and 44. I brought this out last video. Right, we're going to 44. You are of your father the devil, and the desires of your father you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources, for he is a liar and the father of it. But because I tell you the truth, you do not believe me. Which of you convicts me of sin? And if I tell you the truth, why do you not believe me? He who is of God hears God's words. Therefore you do not hear, because you are not of God, right? And this guy Katt Williams is not of God, Yahweh. So let's continue with the video, and we're gonna finish this out with the many lies of Katt Williams. Let's go. Let's continue. Go back a little bit.
It sounds so harsh when you say on the street to learn something from everyone.
Yeah. How long were you out on the streets?
Well, it sounds so harsh when you say on the streets. Just understand that I'm in slacks and a shirt and a tie every day, and I'm eating at a 5-star restaurant because I done worked this deal with the restaurant where I come in at 5 in the morning.
So let me get this straight. You in the shirt and tie, right, and the slacks, and you homeless. Where you washing your clothes at? You gotta wash your clothes every day so they don't smell and not, be clean and not be dirty. And you homeless on the street. How you doing all this, right? So supposedly he was out on the street in Miami, right? This is the like I said before in the main first video, that he want to be the hero for black folks. The hero that went through so much but became a big celebrity and a truth teller, right? To tell the truth about Hollywood. First of all, you shouldn't went to Hollywood in the first place. You go to Hollywood, you're gonna have to sell out. Even Katt Williams, he had to sell out. So like I say, he's a controlled opposition to fool black folks to believe that he's a truth teller, and that he's not a part of Hollywood. He's doing his own thing, right? But we know that's not true. With the Netflix deal, you got to do something to get that Netflix deal to make all that money, right? So this guy, he's a complete fraud. Let's continue with the supposed story that he was homeless in Miami.
I come and do the floors and clean up everything the bus people didn't do, knock out the old dishes. I do all of that, but I get to eat there for free. So I come later and have a 5-star lunch as a 12-year-old. Because I'm already smoking cigarettes, but I got a mustache, so I don't.
So he 12 years old on the streets of Miami, homeless, right? And these people, they supposedly don't see him as a 12-year-old because he has a mustache. But when you look at a young person, even if they have a mustache, you can tell that they're real young. So they're not saying what is young black gentleman coming from. He's coming in and asking us for work, but where does he live? Right? You got to have some kind of way on the books that you saying that you paying this person, that you're doing this stuff for this person, whether it's feeding or giving them money. You got to have that on the books, because you will get all types of lawsuits and all kind of sanctions against your business, that you hired a young underage person to do all this stuff for you after hours. Somebody will find out about it. So he's telling a big lie.
Look out of place, and then I go and I do my 8 hours in the library to take the place of what schooling would have been.
So you gotta also understand that his parents or whoever was over his grandma, what were they? So they just let their 12-year-old Katt Williams go to Miami. Don't know where he's at to do what they're gonna file some kind of report to find out where he at to bring him back home. This don't make any sense. He gonna leave as a 12-year-old to go live homeless on the street. Do that make any sense to you? This guy is a straight liar.
So 2 hours were spent collecting radios from people's cars at the marina, which funded me to at least have $700 or $800 a week in my pocket. So that was the situation for, I'll say, 12 months.
All lies. You can tell a lie when you see him in the face. This dude is a liar. This was all made up. That's why he kept on looking down. He had to get his story straight to make up something so he can be a hero to black folks. Oh, I was homeless for 12 months as a 12-year-old. I'm working at a business. They don't got me on the books, but I'm working at a business and they feed me and giving me money. And I'm selling radios, supposedly radios from boats and all that. From 12-year-olds and make $800 to $900 a week. This guy right here is a straight liar. And black folks believe him and follow him. It's a darn shame.
Was there somebody who came along, a social worker or something like that, and saw you and said, yo, or talked to you, was like, yo, I can help you out, or you should do this or that?
No, you're looking at it a different way than I was looking at it. I wasn't in a pitiable situation by any means. I was free. And it was an adventure that I was on. And I had already read all of these books. I know how to...
He's on the adventure as a 12-year-old to go live homeless in Miami, right? Do that make any sense to you? As a 12-year-old, you want to go live homeless in Miami, live on the street, and you're going to tell you later on that he was out on the street in the park, living on a mattress, right? So this guy, he made this whole story up. That's why he continue to look down. You can tell a lie when they continue to look down. They making up. In their mind, they making up a lie. So let's continue.
How this goes. I know that a terribly scary adventure is nothing for the warrior.
Here you go.
Need to be in a good position.
Here you go. He want to be the hero for black folks. He's the hero. He went to Miami to be homeless at 12 years old, making $800, $900 on the street because he's a hero. He's gonna rise up to lead the black people to the truth of Hollywood. This guy's a straight liar. And he's supposedly the warrior, the avenging angel of black folks. Yeah, real black folks, the void of light people.
And there is a God, and He's gonna see you through. You just have to make sure that you're hitting the marks to qualify for the blessing. So I was never in a situation where someone would think that I needed some assistance.
Where were you sleeping at?
Here you go.
In the park that I told you about, across the street from the library in Coconut Grove.
Oh, he was in the park, across the street from a library, living on a mattress. Look at this face, liar. This dude's a straight liar. And like I said, I saw this interview, and I couldn't believe the lies he was telling in this interview. Let's continue.
Like on the ground, on the bench?
No, they had a mattress out there. I had money, so people would get you stuff.
Why didn't you just take your money and go get a crib?
At 13?
Yeah.
It never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Never crossed my mind.
Because I really do. I know it's young, but
Whoa. Earlier he said, I just noticed this. He said he was 12 years old when he went down there to be homeless in Miami. Then now he just said he was 13. Just caught that. Remember earlier, you have to go back and play this video again. He said 12. He said he went down there at 12 and was homeless for a whole year. So that would make him 13 when he leave there. But he said right then that he was 13. The guy asked him, Willie D asked him why you can get an apartment. He said at 13 years old. Just caught that. I just caught that in this video I'm doing. He changed the year. He changed the year how old he was. He went to 12 to 13 just that quick because he a liar. I told you he was a liar.
Do know people who are very young. Like if somebody is young enough to go out on the streets and just say I'm leaving home.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and if they got money, they're savvy enough to
It's not
get
that I
somebody
have
to
money.
pay them.
I'm making some money. I don't have money. I'm making some money.
Enough to get by.
Well, I'm saying I don't have a long list of needs on the daily. I need to eat well. I need to drink well.
And where are you keeping your money? Like in your pocket?
You need to eat.
I am.
Yeah.
You need to eat. See, you need to eat well. You need to drink well. You also need to wash and be able to have some stuff to brush your teeth every day, right? So you keep your teeth healthy. So the only thing you need is to eat and to drink. And supposedly he had money and is keeping it. He's keeping it in his pocket, and nobody's trying to rob him.
Anybody ever try to rob you?
No,
So nobody tried to rob him.
I did have somebody.
We'll skip past that part. Go. Let's continue.
Was young. That's what I believed, and so I developed. I'm not allowed to bow down. I'm like that as a child. So my parents didn't do anything wrong. They just wanted me to live a life that I wasn't going to live. They wanted me to be this, and I was not free to live a double life. I can't be that and be what I'm trying to be.
What was that they wanted you to be?
A part of their religion. They were very
that
devout in religion.
Christian?
Yes, a branch of Christianity, yes.
At one point, did you become a Muslim?
At one point, I became several religions because
Yeah, and I wanna-
that's the only way you can really find out what's going on in a religion. A religion is not something that you can just study the books about it and now you know about them. I had to be a member of the Fruit of Islam in order to know. Minister Farrakhan calls me his son. I was not.
And that's not a good thing.
Regular even in
Minister Farrakhan call you his son. That's not a good thing. The Nation of Islam is basically, I believe, funded probably by one of the elites or something like that. That's just my guess, but I know it's not rooted in anything good for black people. Because black people need to follow Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, mainly Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And Farrakhan don't preach that. I don't know what he preached, but I know he don't preach that. So basically, Islam is not a good thing for so-called black people. And being called his son is not a good thing.
that endeavor, just because whoever the true God is, I don't play about it. And I understand that regardless of what you choose to call him, it's the same entity. And once you study all of the religions, you find out that nobody's really disagreeing with anybody. The Jews don't believe this whole set of things that Christians don't, and Muslims either.
Why are people so afraid of Farrakhan?
Well, he's smoking.
Well,
You can't trust a person that smoke.
if you had the ability to control the black people on this planet, there isn't anything that you couldn't take, dismantle, destroy, or interrupt if you could mobilize black people. And so part of the ops agenda, a part of their modus operandi, is to find out which one of you niggas is a potential leader. And if you are, then we begin a work of progress on your life, which will make people get off of that. It's a part of it. as much as in any defense. You're trying to figure out which way this dude is likely to go so I can rip that ball. It's the same.
Farrakhan is a polarizing individual. A lot of people
Yes.
really, I do believe, don't really understand him. I think that there are people who get the message. This is what frightens them, is because they know, as you alluded to, they know what he's capable of doing. You know, uniting black people and guiding and leading black people in the right way.
There's not been a successful one of those yet.
And you want to know why? It's because Yahweh don't want it that way. The only leader that so-called black people need is Yahweh Shai, right? He's gonna lead when he returns, and under him gonna be King David. So that's why you ain't gonna never have a so-called black leader in the black community, because it's never gonna happen. Because Yahweh Shai, Yahweh don't want that anyway. To the Creator, he don't want a 2/3 to lead the 2/3 2/3 army of reprobates to mobilize them of destruction. That's why you ain't gonna never have a black leader. That's why.
So just like if you're a rapper, any rapper can get hit. Yeah, we don't have we can go through 300 years of history and look for all the black people that fit the description you just said. They never make it.
Yeah, which is why I believe that they should stop trying to make it. I really do believe that, it's each one reach one, teach one, but the leadership is in yourself. Like, all of us are capable. Well, not all of us, but many of us are capable of being a leader. Like, instead of sitting around just waiting on one person to be that leader. How about...
Well said. Well said. But in real time, being the leader of yourself gets you nothing. The people demand to be led, regardless. There's not 13 shepherds and all these sheep. Why? Because it's unnecessary. Just one. Just one that has the connection with the sheep. People have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx.
He did tell the truth on this, though.
In the first place is because without this nose,
he did tell the truth on this, so I gotta give him credit for that. About them defacing the statues in Africa, Egypt, about taking the noses off, because you can tell that some black people that created that, so that's why they took the noses off. So you correct on this.
we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nigga nose, it can only be niggas. Why would somebody vandalize a whole face and only vandalize one part? Nobody wanted to knock an eye off or take an ear off, or no chins missing. No, just the nose. Because it's a brand. It's a brand. All right, go ahead.
You have an uncanny way of thinking outside of the box, and you are very good at breaking things down, like you just did. You understand consequences and repercussions very well.
Okay.
So my question to you is, why are you such a habitual line stepper? Why do you cross that line so often when you know what the repercussions and consequences are going to be, and they're not going to be favorable to you? For example,
Right.
I saw where you and Suge got arrested, right? You and Suge got arrested. Is that true?
Alleged.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Like, and
What were we doing?
allegedly
Let's
had
see.
something to do
I
with,
should've-
like, some type of photography,
Let's continue. Let's go to something
camera or
else.
something like that.
Hey, that thing we told you about that
Right.
guy, turns out it was nothing. Understand,
Sadiq is a comedian from Houston. That's
Joe. I said, well, ridiculous.
In my masterclass, I'm going to teach you the same tools that I used to be able to tune in to those synchronicities. And I get this.
I'm offended. I'm
Yeah, smoke it.
offended. Why? Because even if it's celebrity boxing, I need you to sell. Can imagine that a real movie studio would cast 5'5", 145-pound Katt Williams as a fucking Santa Claus, number one. That's what will happen. And so that's how it changed and became a great movie. And just the thought process that maybe Ricky Smiley was going to do that, it is laughable. But yeah, that was going to be my only movie. So I had to do everything that I could do to make sure that it went the way I needed it to. And I've done that in every one of the 60 movie
60?
roles that I've done. And
Great point. 60 movies he done. And you think he didn't sell out some way? He didn't give up something? You can't go into Hollywood and just make movies and be in the movies without doing some kind of contract, blood contract or whatever it is. Blood oath. You can't go into Hollywood and not do that. So he's telling a lie that he didn't do whatever he say he didn't do. He did something. And that's what the Netflix deal too. He had to do something for that too. He still got that and making plenty of money off of that. So he did something. So he basically controlled opposition.
50 network television roles.
Man, I'm glad you stood on that, man, because there's a lot of people who would not have. People get blinded by that bread, man, or that opportunity. And
Right.
for you to stand on that says a lot. Because I know Terry Crews would have probably enjoyed it, in real life.
Oh, bless his heart.
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
Now, how did you get this this knack for comedy in the first place? Like you had a pretty tumultuous childhood. Like, how do you pivot from that and get into comedy?
I didn't find it to be tumultuous.
So at the time, you was living it. I
Yeah,
didn't see it
yeah,
like
this is
that.
not tumultuous.
Okay.
But your question was, how did
you find comedy?
a lot of times you have the true appreciation for something when you're not trying to do it. You just like it. So that's the relationship that I had with music, and it was the relationship that I had with comedy. So musically, I could listen to Pearl Jam and the Ghetto Boys. Like, I could listen to 9 Inch Nails, and I could listen to Prince, and I could do that. And comedically, I found that I could do that too. It didn't matter what the comedy person looked like, or how they were built, or where they were from. If they were funny, I was going to be able to tell. So I understood that Don Knotts was out there. And through this entire time, I've kept up the same conversation with the same people. Number to it. But I've been special that many times. For an hour.
17 tours, 100 cities. That is a lot of work. That's enough work for a few lifetimes. Most comedians won't even get 100 cities. Well, most comedians ain't gonna do that one time. And how do you continue to come up with this new material? Because you do new material every single time you show up.
Yes,
That's great.
Yeah.
I had never seen that before. So how were you able to maintain your composure for that long?
Well, a very
well, say I want to go here real quick. Let's go to Matthew 7. And 24, no one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. All right, and that's got to do with Katt Williams. He pretend to serve God, but really he's serving Satan because he was in Hollywood, did so many roles and everything. So and still connected to Hollywood with a Netflix deal. So he's pretending to serve God, but really he's under Satan's control on the left hand side of Yahweh. So I wanted to go back. He said something about let's go back.
They dealt with this drug.
Go
And
back
this
a little
is where
bit.
it ended. 1,000 autobiographies, just the life of people that I don't know. And when you do that, you find out that if you were trying to learn something from everybody, you could actually learn something from every single person that you met. And so it's that type of thinking that helped me avoid the pitfalls as I saw them. So the reason I never did drugs when I was an adult is because when I left and went to Miami and I'm living in a park, it's 30 people out there from all different places, and they all are homeless and in a terrible situation just like me, and they telling me that they used
Let's
to
go
be
back. Let's go.
lawyers and start sleeping with white women and doing cocaine. 'Cause
He
as a
said
kid,
something earlier about
once I'm gone from there, I'm trying my hand at other things, door to door, and for black people.
So you saw a lot of the street stuff. How did you end up? First of all, did you end up doing any of the street stuff? Participating in any of that street activity? You mentioned your uncles selling drugs and all of that.
Well, I leave Dayton, Ohio, right before I'm 13. So I'm still at a young age. I'm just having heightened experiences because of my childhood and my background. So, I've always had money, but I don't come from money. So I was able to cut grass in the summer, and I was able to shovel snow in the winter. That's what I was allowed to do. So,
but I wanted to find what he say.
Even as a kid, I'm making like $6,000-7,000.
Let's go back.
Were of another color, if that makes sense. So,
What's the power dynamic? Was it mostly white people running it? Or?
Where we were from. So we thought that was a part of it. We hearing the Ohio players, and Roger Troutman in Zap's studio is our bus stop when we're 7 years old. I met Prince while I was in Dayton when I'm 12. It was a very vibrant community for black people.
So you saw a lot of the street stuff. How did you end up? First of all, did you end up doing any of the street stuff?
I couldn't find the where he said that he.
How long were you out on the streets? I know it's young, but I do know people who are very young. If somebody is young enough to get out on,
Is a situation. But other than that, no, I wasn't frequently tried as a young person.
yeah. So I'm asking some of these questions that I'm asking because I'm really trying to figure out how did you develop your psyche? You're very insightful.
I think that's it.
Right.
I just want to get this before I close the video out.
Where did that start at? Can you pinpoint a specific time and space where you said, I get it. I see what's going on.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Probably 5 years old.
Here you go. You finna tell a lie. 5 years old. Yeah, he
First
see
and foremost,
he looking down because he's trying to figure out what he gonna say and a lie he gonna tell. So 5 years old, watch this.
this is gonna sound really, really weird, but I believed at that young age that you could have a relationship with God, and I know that that's kind of old-fashioned now. But when I was young, that's what I believed, and so I developed this relationship where we talk.
This is I wanted to get this. I messed up earlier when I was skipping around in the video. I messed up. I shouldn't have did that, but the main point I want to get before I close out the video is this. He telling this lie about 5 years old. What 5-year-old, when you was at 5 years old, do you think about talking to God and having a conversation with God? You thinking about what activities you're gonna do at school and what friends you're gonna talk to at school. So this guy supposedly he was having conversations with God and telling what they gonna do and this and that and what they gonna talk about. So he's telling a big lie. That's why he kept on looking down.
4 or 5 times a day, and we talk about everything.
Oh, let's see, go back.
Coming to you
Here you go.
First and foremost, this is gonna sound really, really weird, but I believed at that young age that you could have a relationship with God, and I know that that's kind of old-fashioned now. But when I was young, that's what I believed, and so I developed this relationship.
5 years
where
old.
We talk 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah, 5 years.
About everything. And
5 years old, he talked to God 4 or 5 times a day. You believe this lie? Like I said earlier, you think about what friends you're gonna play with at school, what you're gonna be eating, what your parents gonna allow you to do, and how long they gonna let you play. At 5 years old, this boy genius right here, this Messiah of the black community, was having a conversation with God 4 or 5 times a day. That's why he kept on looking down, because he's gonna make up something for his black audience that love him and appreciate and love him and believe everything he gotta say.
Coming to you when things are well and when it's not well, and if I ask for something, I know when you gave me what I asked for.
Yeah, 5 years old.
It's the only time.
At 5 years
I
old.
understood at a young age that I wasn't like everybody else. That I was in a blessed position.
There you go.
That I had the ability to.
There you go. He's not like everybody else. He's the black leader of the black community. He's telling all the Hollywood truth while being in Hollywood, getting Netflix deal. He's not like everybody else. He want to make himself out to be a messiah and a hero for the black folks.
Be able to make things happen.
Here you go. Make things happen.
I can find the instructions and follow them.
There you go.
So, at 5 years old,
5 years old.
How I thought. I knew when things were wrong with the Bible. I wasn't
5 years old.
worried about authority, because God was like the authority, and other than that, I gotta tolerate you. But
he knew all this. He knew all this. He knew about the Bible. He knew about what the scriptures meant. At 5 years old, and that's the main point I messed up earlier when I kept on skipping around. I was trying to find where he said this, and I was gonna close out the video. He said at 5 years old, he knew if anything in the Bible was wrong, he knew the scriptures. At 5 years old, he knew the scriptures, and he had conversations with God 4 or 5 times a day. Like I said, I'm gonna read it to you again before I close the video. He's a liar.
I'm like that as a child. So my parents didn't do anything wrong. They just wanted me to live a life that I wasn't going to live. They wanted me to be this, and I was not free to live a double life. I can't be that and be what I'm trying to be.
Yeah, you wanted to be a Hollywood star and serve Satan. But let's read this again, and I'm gonna close this video out. You are of your father the devil, and the desires of the father you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth, right? Katt Williams does not stand in the truth. He's a liar. At 5 years old, he had 5 conversations with God a day. And if he got blessed with anything at 5 years old, he knew it was from God. And he knew all about the scriptures. And if anything was wrong in the Bible, he already knew at 5 years old. Because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources. This is Katt Williams. For he's a liar and the father of it. But because I tell you the truth, you do not believe me. But the main point I wanted to get to you is you are of your father the devil, and the desires of the father you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning, does not stand in truth. Katt Williams does not stand in truth. He's a liar. And the main point I wanted to get in this video was what he said about when he was 5 years old, and that he had conversations with God 5 times a day, and that if anything was wrong in the Bible, that he already knew the scriptures and you couldn't tell him anything different, because at 5 years old he already knew the scriptures. At 5 years old, Katt Williams, the boy genius. And like I said, this guy's a liar, and he's controlled opposition. With that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, double honor to the elders and apostles of GMS, all the brothers doing the work, the 144,000 hopeful elect. To the next video, Shalom, Shalom.